Okay, so now just further examples. So if you are completely confident on your ability in doing these, you don't need to watch anymore. But if you want to see just a few more, here they are. Use any method to factor. So we'll have 3 times 7 is 21. So factors of 21, the sum of 10, 3 and 7. That comes out nice. So 3a squared plus 3a plus 7a plus 7. We'll group it up. Pull out my 3a. I'm left with a plus 1 plus, let's pull out my 7, a plus 1. I've got a common factor of a plus 1 I can pull out, so a plus 1. I'm left with 3a plus 7. There we go. Multiply that back out, and we should get our original expression. 5z squared plus 12z plus 4. I have no common factors, so let's go ahead and go 5 times 4 is 20. 2 and 10 jump out at me. So 2 and 10, if I add those together, I get the 12. So 5z squared plus 2z plus 10z plus 4. Group it up. Pull out my z. Be left with 5z plus 2 plus, let's pull out my 2. 5z plus 2. There's my common factor, and if you would switch these around, we should get exactly the same thing. 5z plus 2 times z plus 2. Example 15. Use any method to factor 12s squared plus 11s minus 5. No common factors, so 12 times 5 is 60. It's actually negative 60, so I know I'm going to have one factor negative, one factor positive. Okay, so let's see. 6 and 10. That's not going to work. Maybe 4 and 15. There we go. So if the we're going to have a positive 11, so 4 is negative, 15 is positive. As we're knowing your multiplication tables really helps do these a little more quickly. So what do we got here? 12s squared plus 4s, or sorry, minus 4s plus 15s minus 5. Group these guys up. So let's pull out a 4s from this guy, and I'll be left with 3s plus 1 plus sorry, that should be 3s minus 1 plus, I'm going to pull out a 5. I'll be left with 3s minus 1. There we go. So I'm going to pull out my 3s minus 1, and I'm left with 4s plus 5. Example 16. Use any method to factor 6x squared minus 17x plus 12. So 6 times 12 is 72. So what do we got here? 72, 8 and 9 sort of jumps out. Ooh, that's nice. So 8 and 9. You don't always get on your first one, but once you get your multiplication tables down, hopefully you guys have those by now, these become a little bit easier. So we'll have 6x squared minus 8x minus 9x plus 12. Let's group this up. Again, be careful. And when I put a parentheses here, I have to change that sign. Now let's factor out this first grouping. I can pull out a 2x. What am I left with? 3x minus 4. And pull out a 3 from this one, right? And I'm left with 3x minus 4. Pull out my 3x minus 4, and I'm left with 2x minus 3. There we go. Example 17. Use any method to factor 20y squared minus 39y minus 11. Okay, let's use the calculator on this one. So you have 20 times 11 is 220, so we have 220. So that's what I'm going to be factoring over here. And it's going to be a negative 220. So I know one factor's got to be positive, one's got to be negative. And let's just try a couple of these. Let's see, 220 divided by, I know I can divide it by 10. I think that's too far apart. 10 and 22, no, that won't give it to me. 220 divided by 5, 44. 5 and 44, yeah, that's going to do it, right? So we have 44 and 5, and this is going to work out if the 44 is negative, and that's positive. The 5 is positive. So 20y squared minus 44y plus 5y minus 11. Okay, what can I pull out of this first group? I can pull out a 4, right? 4y. And I'm left with 5y minus 11. Should actually put the grouping symbols around it. And then I have plus 5y minus 11. Nothing to pull out there. And so now I can pull out my 5y minus 11. 4y plus 1. And there we go. So not too hard once you find these factors here. Okay, 2t squared plus 13t minus 18. Okay, so we're going to do 2 times minus 18. Got minus 36. So 36. That's what we got here. I got 4 and 9. Looks like it would work, doesn't it? 4 and 9 is 13, but ooh, a second. One of these has to be positive, one has to be negative. That was tempting, wasn't it? But that's not going to work. 2 and 18. That's not going to work. 3 and 12. That's not going to work. 6 and 6 gets us close. No, because one has to be positive, one negative, so even if it's close. So we tried in 1 and 36. That's not going to work. So we've exhausted all of our factors. So what are we going to say here? Prime. Example 19. 24x squared minus 42x plus 9. Okay, let's do 24 times 9. Okay, so this is one where trial and error would not be fun, right? Because there are way too many choices I have for 24. It could be 2 and 12, 4 and 6, 4 and 3. 9's also got 1 and 9, 3 and 3. Ends up with a lot of different possibilities. So let's go ahead and do 24 times 9. Okay, we get 216. So 216, I need to find factors of 216. So let's go ahead and write this down. We're doing factors of 216 that are going to add up to this negative 42. And we know that both of them have to be the same sign, and they're both going to be negative. So let's see. I can divide it by 3. It's 3 and 7, 2. That's not going to work. So let's see. 216 divided by... definitely not divisible by 4. 4 and 54. Nope. Not divisible by 5. How about 6? 6 and 36. Yes, right? So 6 and 36. Because what's 6 plus 36? 42. They're both negative. They're negative 42. Nice. So once we have that, I feel like we're pretty confident. So 24x squared minus 6x minus 36x plus 9. Let's group them up. Careful with your signs in here. Change that to a minus. Should we make things look a little bit on screen? So I went ahead and took that out. Okay, so what are we going to have here? We've got a common factor of 6x. And what do we have here? 4x minus 1 minus, I can pull out a 9, right? And that's going to be 4x minus 1. Again, there's my common factor. 4x minus 1. 6x minus 9. Oh, do you see what I did? I see a common factor here. If I see a common factor here, that means I should have factored out common factor up here. My number one rule of factoring, and I forgot to do it. So, let's go ahead and pull out one more factor here. I got a common factor of 3. 4x minus 1. I'm going to pull a 3 from these guys here. Leaves me with 2x minus 3. Once it's fully factored, and I should have done this up here. Alright, so what I should have done was pull out a 3 right from the beginning. And that would have made it 8x squared minus, what is that, 14x plus 3. Now this would have been a lot easier to do, right? 8 times 3. Now I'm just looking at 24. To find factors of 24 that sum to the negative 14, which is much easier. 2 and 12, both negative. I could have done it without using the calculator. So always do that. I wish I could say I did that intentionally, but I did not. I was excited to get to the last problem, as I'm sure you are as well. So we would have gotten the same thing if we had done it this way. It just makes it easier if you pull that common factor out in the beginning. So I hope this helps. This is the hardest unit, the hardest part of this unit is factoring these trinomials when we don't have a as 1.